Don't miss the Black Library Celebration Eisenhorn miniature.
Spiky bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. Rob Baer with you today. Doing an unboxing build, and a quick rules deep dive on the new Eisenhorn mini. This is actually the third miniature put out by Games Workshop of the iconic Inquisitor. They did a 54mm version in their old Inquisitor game in the early 2000s, and Black Library actually had a diorama with him in it. Pewter back in the day, I want to say 2005, give or take. So this, well, it's been about 13 years since we had one. So either way, definitely welcome. This guy was available on Games Workshop site, currently sold out. Don't know if they're going to get more, so a lot of folks are kind of clamoring to get them that might have missed him. Stores might still have some here in the States, but either way, if you want them, now's the time to scoop them up because he might not be available. He was $35 when he was available. Again, not sure the status of this bad boy right here. It does come with rules. In here, his data sheet, which also was presented on Warhammer site. So a lot of different places to get the resources from him. Of course, if you want to convert your own, you could, and just, use the rules to be like counts as. I couldn't get them, whatever. Didn't feel like, spending the money for it, which I kind of feel you there too. Now, a lot of folks, and we've of course bemoaned at Finecast back in the day. This is a Finecast miniature. Originally in 2011, the Finecast miniatures that were made were just converted by using the existing molds and shooting the resin material into the current pewter molds, which doesn't even work. When you get air bubbles on molds, on miniatures, that means you didn't get a good fill. That's actually bad. That is a design defect. That's a subpar miniature. And Games Workshop, was like, oh, well, liquid green stuff. Here you go. Fix it. That's terrible. And well, they got their asses handed to them for it. For lack of a better term. There's no PC way to say this. It caused an uproar. If what happened in 2017 happened in 2018, well, let's just say their stock wouldn't be where it is right now, which is great the way the company is going currently, and the fact that they have gone back and they are actually designing things to work with the Finecast material itself, which is the way it's supposed to be done. Now, I realize in 2011 converting over the pewter molds to would have cost a lot of money. I get it. It's a business thing. We get it, but you got to be ready with the fallout when you try to push a subpar product on a consumer that's conscientious about model quality. Long story short, fast forward now. This is about Eisenhorn and this really cool looking miniature right here. Again, the Finecast material, these molds are designed for it. We didn't see any issues with any of the previous Space Marine limited editions that came out, the Marlboros and stuff like that. So it's great in the fact that they don't have to tool up all these like crazy molds and doing all the resins, or excuse me, the plastic molding, because while plastic is still cheaper, there's a high cost to get it done. They can do it this way a little bit cheaper, have a little bit limited of a run. They don't have to crank out the big numbers and make it cost effective. They can do these kind of one-off little special things, which is cool because we love our exclusive and limited run kind of minis, which is one of the things that makes this hobby so cool and this offering so cool. So here's the resin components themselves. We're going to take a look at those in a second. It is on a 32mm base, which is curious for a human level character right here. Here's the instructions. You can kind of see how it goes together. A little bit more, I guess, ambitious design wise. The boots are separate. His staff is on the back. The rune staff itself goes onto the back here. I've seen a lot of these warped. We're going to check this one here and see how warped it is. Back cape goes onto the front. The two hands connect, and then the head itself connects. So theoretically, you could put a different head in there from what it looks like. And then, of course, he's got this great custom base that just goes on a 32mm bottom base there. Now, rules-wise, here's kind of what he does. He is a normal Inquisitor, very similar to what comes in the Imperial Index 2, I believe. He is 100 points, which they say on the next page. Stat-wise, he's just a human, but what's cool about him is that he's got some bonuses here, and we're about to talk about that. So save is a 4-up. He does have 5 wounds, which kind of mitigates the fact that he is a paltry toughness 3 right there. He has a bolt pistol, Artificer bolt pistol, which is great at neg 1. It does 2 damage. He has this rune staff, which on first look you would be like, well, I want to swing with that because it's going to be strength 6 at neg 1 at d3 damage. He can chuck grenades, a grenade at a vehicle, and it could damage it, which doesn't seem too bad. And the Barbister has a melee weapon, strength of user at neg 3, but does d3 damage at neg 3. So theoretically this one looks better, but once we start reading into his rules, let's take a look at that. He has the Koi rule, the authority of the Inquisition rule, which, long story short, if you get out Index Imperium 1, bust that open, that's just going to let you put him in any transport. It doesn't have to be, like Space Marine, Rhino, or anything like that. That's right down here. But if there's a Terminator involved, yeah, you have to be careful with that one right there. Quarry is just your Ordo Xenos traits, or your Ordo traits. Now, he is Ordo Xenos, so he's going to be more effective against Xeno stuff. You're like your Tau, your Necrons, your Tyranids stuff. So you're going to reroll hit rolls and wound rolls of 1 for Ordo Xenos units against targets that do not have the Chaos, Imperium, or unaligned faction keywords. So like I said, going up against Xeno stuff, he gets a little bit more of a bonus where you're going to flip back and be like, oh, okay, so now he gets to reroll 1s. So where right here, he may have needed, if he's strength 3, he's going to need 5s to actually hurt something that's toughness 4, like, a Space Marine. That doesn't do well. But when you're going up against Xenos, which, for a lot of cases is going to be toughness 3, well, then he would need a 4, but reroll 1s. So now technically he's kind of wounding Xenos on a 3-up. So there's something to keep in mind here once you select your weapons for what he's supposed to be effective at. He's still a good Inquisitor, points wise and effectiveness wise, but he obviously excels against those Xenos targets. Anybody within his leadership for Imperium can use his strength 10 or his leadership of 10, and he also has a 6-up Feel No Pain. He can then summon a Demon Host model to the tabletop from the same book we just showed you, Imperial Index 2. I believe it is 25 points for that bad boy. But, how effective it is, we'll check it here in a sec. Eisenhorn can manifest 2 psychic powers in each friendly psychic phase and attempt to deny 2, which is pretty respectable. He is very good in that regard. He knows Smite and 2 psychic powers from the Telethesia discipline in Imperial Index 2. And then there's his points value. He is 100 points. So we'll put that aside. Run back over here, cross-referencing things. And here's your discipline right here. Mental Fortitude, Dominate, or Terrify. We've seen these in the past. No big deal. And as far as the Demon Host goes, here he is right here. He has a 7-up save. So he isn't super effective, and he doesn't have the character keyword. So he could get got. He can easily be targeted and dealt with if he becomes a nuisance. He does have kind of like a ranged 12 las cannon shot, so maybe he's just like a drop in and shoot las cannon for 25 points. But again, his weapon skill is only, or ballistic skill is only 4 up, so it's 50-50 there. It's definitely flavorful and characterful, because that's the whole, like, Eisenhorn thing. But is it effective on a tabletop? Maybe not, especially if you're playing in match play. You have to save the reinforcement points for that guy right there. All right, let's zoom in on the model. We get a good idea of all the detail right there. Again, it is very well detailed. Resin itself is going to be more detailed than plastic. That's just the facts. And I love to see, look at this depth to the base here. This, inquisitorial symbol. You've got a little heretical skull right there with some horns on it. The bolt pistol and such definitely looks artificer with, an ornate kind of targeting system right there. Puffs on his jacket. Everything looks super detailed. Very well done there. And, well, staff is a little wonky. It is a little bent, so you're going to want to dump that in some warm water and kind of bend it back when we assemble it, which we're going to have to do here in a minute. And as far as his cape goes, pretty well detailed. Very much more detailed than what we would expect to see in a plastic model. And the scrolls look pretty cool too, with the little inquisitional eyes. And then of course there's his back. Oh, that's going to be a nightmare to clip down right there. Okay. And last but certainly not least, the body itself, which has a great little locked, oh, there's his book right there, and Inquisitorial Mandate maybe right there. See this? This means we got a good fill with the resin. That's sticking out like that. That means good things. Boots very well done with the clasps. There's the head right there. Obviously the young Eisenhorn. But man, very striking. Very much what we would expect to see from the art and the descriptions inside the book right there. All right, so let me get out my tools and get this bad boy together for you. And there he is in all his inquisitorial glory. Wow, this thing is awesome looking. Once you get it all together, way more detailed than a plastic model could ever be. I mean, look at that. I mean, we've seen the pictures, you know, the painted minis and such, you know, on G-Dub's site and all over the place in the White Dwarf, but man, this thing is fresh once you get it together. A little bit of a curve still in the staff. Didn't have time to get my heat gun out, unfortunately, but I think that can be resolved easily with a little hairdryer or a heat gun. I was just kind of like, meh. It just kind of works. It's kind of hidden there. If he was holding it, I might have spent a little bit more time on it. And look at the robes underneath it. Everything looks fresh. You are going to have to assemble it for the most part and then paint it. So no shortcuts here as far as, you know, airbrushing and then coming back and doing detail work. But man, he is just so fresh looking. Look at that. Look at that head. Even the little hair just hanging down, little flicks of hair right there, right above his right temple. So good looking at, and did a good job clipping out the staff top right there. It will come off pretty easily. You just got to be very precise with those, with your blade, or get some really tight flush cutters. The G-Dub ones are definitely good for this sort of thing. They are a little pricey, but they work very well. And of course, he's got the bolt pistol unsheathed right there. So man, overall, this model is fresh. I kind of want to paint it up myself if I didn't have such a tremendous backlog. But regardless, I think it's a great miniature. If you can find it, pick it up. It's a classic. It's been a classic for years. Sure to be a classic going into the future. And the fact that he has 40k rules with points is also a super bonus. So I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and build and rules dive with us on Inquisitor Eisenhorn. If you like these type of features, keep those hobby muscles strong, mash that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you can also be the very first to like and comment on our latest videos as well.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. TheLongWar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.